I live in Savannah, Georgia. If you know, you know, but basically they say it's the most haunted city in America. I don't know if I entirely always believed that, but I do now, and I have some good stories, so I'm gonna tell you one right now, and I might stitch this and tell more. Anyways, so my sophomore year of college, I moved into an old Victorian home with some roommates, and immediately when we got there, we all knew it was haunted. It was just like a feeling of, you're not alone in this house, there are other people here, whatever. But it never felt malicious or all that scary or anything negative at all. It was like an old man energy, and you'd hear him like walking on the floor late at night, and he would always go to the bathroom, and then in the bathroom you'd hear like grunting, and we kind of thought like, oh my god, it's this old man that is just so annoyed that 4 college women are living in his house and like having boys over and drinking alcohol underage, whatever. That's what we thought. And then these coins started showing up in the toilet, and they were always pennies. None of us really carried change. This was also during COVID, so like we weren't having cash on us, like we just weren't. And we noticed that they were all from the same year. So we had this jar behind the toilet that had all of these coins from the same year, and it was just weird. But we had the plumber come check it out. No one could ever say why it was happening. It just was not something that was explainable. Whatever, right? Other weird stuff would happen in the house, like we would all have dreams that would kind of correlate to each other, or they were the same dream. And then we would wake up with scratches, and they were not like human or pet scratches, they were like 3 scratches, and we'd all have them in the same spot. And that was really spooky ooky. And yeah, like that all happened, and that was terrible. But we all still were like, okay, it's fine, we can ignore the noises, it'll all be good. Girls, okay, so my friend AJ comes over to the house. She does not believe in ghosts. She does now, but she did not believe in ghosts at the time. And we had this trash can that was sitting across the room that had one of those lids that swivels like this. You know what I'm talking about. And it just started on its own swiveling back and forth. And AJ was like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? Me having seen a little bit more of that kind of stuff around the house, I was like, Ethan, stop it. My boyfriend's trying to fuck with me. I'm trying to tell a story. Ethan. Anyways.
Wait, can you pause?
No, I'm telling a story. Okay, anyways, we noticed the trash can kind of moving on its own back and forth. And AJ doesn't believe in ghosts, but she is like semi-spiritual, so she was like, can you just go light some incense? Like, I feel uncomfortable with this. I go in my room. I grab incense. I come outside, and I'm trying to light the incense. It was a lighter I had bought that day. It won't light. Like, whatever I do, it will not light. Oh my god, I still get chills thinking about this. And all of a sudden, I hear AJ go, Kat, help me, what's happening to me? And she's doubled over on the chair like this. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's across the room from me. The minute that me and her make eye contact, immediate, like, tunnel vision. Complete tunnel vision. The worst feeling I have ever felt in my life, like impending doom. It basically felt like my body was saying, get the fuck out of there, go, run. But AJ's sitting there, and I'm over here like, oh my god, I need to run, and AJ is like toppled over and can't move, and I was a bad friend. I ran. I don't know what, like, it was such a guttural feeling of get the fuck out of here right now, or else something terrible is going to happen that I've ever felt in my life. I've never felt anything like that since or before. Anyways, finally, I run downstairs. My dog runs with me, and then my roommate went upstairs and grabbed AJ, and we were on the front porch. We both experienced the same thing. We felt nauseous, like the worst feeling. I can't even describe it properly because it was terrible. And then my dog would not, basically like a circle radius on the sidewalk and the street, my dog would not walk past like that circle radius and go inside the house. We had to have a friend come over and cleanse it before my dog would even cross that like pathway. And we did not sleep there. None of us slept there that night. And we almost had a priest come to the house because it got so bad. And I forgot to mention, the next night that I slept over, from the office space that we were in, I had this super vivid nightmare of a man in like a full gimp suit crawling into my room. I still don't know if like I maybe was awake for that, but it was so vivid and it was the scariest dream I've ever had. I've never had anything like that since. And there are other stories, but there you go. That's like that's the one that keeps me up at night.
Bruh. That dog was like, I'm out. Peace. I'm not saving nobody. I'm saving myself. Forget you, my owner here. That's all that matters. We ain't saving nobody else. Who this woman? Hoppo, who this woman? How many of y'all would have saved your friend or would have ran? I like to think I would have saved my friend because in a lot of fight or flight situations, I am a fighter. And there's some people in my family that they're flight. They'll leave you. You're on your own. So in some situations, if you ain't running, you just there. You just got to figure it out. You got to fight by yourself. But I am a fighter. It's crazy because I'll get scared or like, that's how you know if you're a fighter or a flighter. I get scared and square up. And some people in my family get scared and take off. They're gone. Like, we ain't asking questions at all. Like, okay. So yeah, I like to think I would have saved my friend. I would have tried to get to her, you know, the tunnel vision, knowing my house, knowing that I'm assuming this is her first time there because she ain't experienced it before. This is her first time, so she don't really know the house. If her tunnel vision is right there and she can't save herself, she can't move, I'm going to figure out how to get her out the house with me. Like, it's going to be a swift movement, all in one. It's just the thought. I'm not even going to think about it. It's just going to be done. Like, it's just do it, boo. It's Nike in it. Just picking her up and we are out of here. Like, you know how people get when you're scared, you get this superwoman strength. That would be me. We would just figure it out in my head. Somehow my body would just be moving and I just know what the mission is. Honey, no, that's not even cool. Y'all were just cool with this old man just being in your house. We already know old men are creepy. Men are creepy, but old men are extra creepy because they ain't got nothing to lose. They've been on this earth for a long time, and he ain't even here no more. His ghost is on earth, his body in earth. So yeah, friend, I would not have been okay with an old man ghost. No, talking about, oh yeah, it wasn't malicious. It was a good. It wasn't even an evil. That sounds very evil. When she said the coins things. Now, some of y'all know about the coins. We ain't touching coins that ghosts leaving. Y'all know about them coins. Nope. When she said coins, I was just like, I hope y'all ain't touch it. And they're all the same year. It could have been the year that he died. I would have probably did some research. Honestly, no. I wouldn't have been in the house anymore. No, you're good. Doing illegal stuff, and he just like and you don't even know what age he was. He could have probably been one of those people, one of those guys that was just like, oh, you're with guys. Like, you know how some men think, or older men think, that you have to be married first or whatever before anything can happen. You can't have guys around as a female. Yeah, it could have been that. You don't even know. I'm glad you're safe though. I'm glad y'all got a cleanse. I'm glad you had a dog. Well, shoot, if the dog wasn't recognizing this spirit before, was the dog not warning you? The dog wasn't doing his job. It was just like, peace, all that for itself. Like, nope, I ain't going in the house. Ma, you gotta do something. I ain't going back in there. I'm about to go get adopted.
So when I was in high school, I took a photography class, and part of the photography class was that they would take us to different field trips of different places throughout the area, and one of the field trips happened to be Eastern State Penitentiary. So while we were there, I decided with one of my friends that we were going to take one of the tours. So this tour that we went on included death row. And in death row in Eastern State Penitentiary, there are two ways to enter. There's like the guards entrance and then the entrance for the inmates through the showers. And the way it's set up is there's a brick wall that separates the two. And then at the end, after the showers, they meet up again before the cells. So my friend and I decided we were going to walk through the showers and try to snap a couple pictures, and the rest of the group walked on the other side. And while we were walking through the showers, out of nowhere, I got this really intense, sharp pain in my right side, kind of like upper mid-back towards the side. And this pain was so intense and so strong and came on so suddenly that it actually like knocked the wind out of me, and I was doubled over in the showers. So the tour guide notices that we didn't catch up to them yet and comes into the showers to check on us and sees me like doubled over in pain. And she goes, keep walking. And I was like, what? Like, I can barely move. She goes, keep walking. And I was like, okay. So I walked towards her, and as I did, the pain started to go away. And she goes, are you feeling better? And I went, yeah. And she goes, just so you know, back in the day when this was a functioning prison, a guard walked through the showers to check on an inmate who said he was unwell, and the other inmates jumped him and stabbed him in his kidney, his right kidney. Is that where you were having pain? And I said, yeah. And she goes, yeah, I've been doing this a long time, and I've only ever seen 2 other people have this like visceral reaction in these showers. You're the 3rd. So basically, I got shanked in prison by a ghost.
Girl. Why is the school taking a field trip, a class field trip to the prison? Wait, nope, I can't ask that question because we did that. We definitely did that. It was part of a scared straight program. They were just like, this could be y'all if y'all don't get y'all stuff together. So never mind, we did that, but we did it for different reasons. Y'all did it for photography, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be taking pictures or want to take a picture of jail. So, and it was empty. I'm assuming it was empty. Like it wasn't even in operation anymore. I'm assuming they didn't really give us that information. But why would we separate from the group? Like this is the problem with scary movies. The people who separate from the group, stuff be happening to them. And you were that person that separated from the group. You experienced that. You were that sensitive to experience that. When she said, oh, I felt something on my side, I was like, she got shanked. She got shanked by a ghost in the shower. Honey, like that's wild right there. That's real G, bruh. That's real G. Ghosts still trying to kill people up in the shower. Like we still prison hood. Nah, friend, I would not have separated from the prison, and I don't think I would have did a tour of death row. I don't know. Like I'm just trying to think about that. I don't think I would. I don't. No. I don't know, because it would be fascinating to see. Well, I don't know, because if it's death row, yeah. You don't really want to, you already know it's going to be energy there. So yeah, no, I don't think I would. But I'm glad you say, friend. I'm glad she knew what to do because you was just stuck. And your friend was not helping you. She was just like, oh, she's stuck. Something happened. I don't know what's going on. She didn't even go for help. Like, no, you was just there by yourself and she was just a bystander. Like, what is up with these friends? Be better friends, you guys. Save your friends. Help your friends. I hope they will help you back.
So I lived in multiple haunted houses. I talked about it a lot on here. I have a whole series of creepy, spooky stories that y'all can listen to. But one house I never really spoke about was the house that I lived in when my son was a newborn, when I brought my son home. And I guess I never really talked about it because I had such positive experiences. Because in other houses, I've experienced some crazy things, some residual hauntings, and all types of stuff. But in that house, I called the ghosts in that house my helpers, my second hands, or my babysitters, because they really helped me out. Like, for example, they would alert me of certain things, like if I was in another room and like my son needed me, and if I didn't hear him, or if I wasn't awake, if I had fallen asleep, they would find ways to wake me up. And it was a normal occurrence after a while. So for example, I was really nervous, so I would stay up all night. I wanted to be awake in case the baby woke up, in case I needed to I was just really nervous. So like, for example, they would like make the TV glitch. So one night I'm watching a movie, the TV glitches. I'm like, maybe it's the Wi-Fi, turn it off, turn it back on. Like nothing was working. So I'm not really too worried about it because I'm scrolling on Twitter all night. And I can hear the TV turns back on and the guy's like, the kid, get the kid. And then it shuts off again. And I'm like, so I got up and I went in the room and my kid had been choking and I didn't know. So just for example, but one night one morning, because I stayed up until the sun came up and I'm exhausted. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get through the day. It was a lot. And I was dealing with like postpartum and things like that. So it was just a lot in that moment. And I just started to fall asleep when I could hear somebody in the hallway. And I knew, like, I'd grown accustomed to hearing the different creaks, and I could tell like where somebody was in the house or which direction they were going, if they were going to the bathroom, if they're going in the kitchen, by the creaks in the floor, because it was an old house. But I hear somebody in the hallway and I hear my door creak open, but I don't feel I don't feel scared, and I didn't hear the front door. I didn't hear anything. So it didn't really worry me. I felt somebody sit on the side of the bed, and I was like, okay, I can go to sleep, because to me it felt like my babysitter has him. Like, they're gonna watch him, they're gonna wake me up if I need it, like, so everything is fine. 10 years later, I'm experimenting with microdosing, just trying to work through some things and trying to understand some things and get past some things. And I was really frustrated. I was going through it, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm trying to journal, it's just not working. So I was like, I just don't want to feel the way that I'm feeling, so I'm just gonna go to sleep. Cover my head, lay down, I'm going to sleep. I feel somebody walk into my room. So I'm basically crying out to my higher self, crying out to somebody giving me some sort of guidance, because I don't know what to do, and I know that I need something. So I can feel her. She feels like an older version of me. She feels like a wiser version of me. She's way calmer than me. She's way more sure. And she's telling me things. She's telling me how she just putting a lot of my worries at ease. She's telling me about my child. She's telling me about myself. And she's just telling me that it's going to be okay. And I'm like, thank you, but that's not enough. Tell me what to do. What can I do? Because there has to be something that I can do, because I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I'm not doing the right things. And she's like, I know what you can do. You can go back to a version of yourself who could use the guidance that you have now, because there's a version of you who feels hopeless the way that you feel now. So you can go help her. So I'm like, okay. Immediately, like that, I'm back in that hallway, and I'd forgotten everything about that house. I'd forgotten what it looked like. I'd forgotten what just everything felt like. And I walked down that hallway, and I pushed the door open, like, slowly, and I see the baby bassinet. I see the sun beaming in the room, the curtains, little details of things that I have forgotten completely. And I see just a big lump on the bed under like a comforter. And I walk up to the bed, and I sit at the foot of the bed, and I put my hand on her back, and I'm just talking to her. And I didn't really know what to say, so I'm just telling her, I'm like, he's okay, he grows up, he's beautiful. Like, I'm just telling her all the things that I feel like she may have needed to hear. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody's gonna believe that I haunted myself, but I haunted myself.
Yo, I've never heard a story like that, but I kind of heard a story like that, kind of sort of like it was like what they made it sound like was it was time traveling. It was like an older man pulled up at a restaurant, and there was a younger man in the restaurant who had a truck, and the older man was just like, whose truck is that? And it was the younger man's truck. He was like, it was my truck, it was my grandfather's truck. And whatever had happened, and the older man was just like, yeah, my grandfather used to have a truck like that, and it was just him from a different time period or whatever. So they said that was time traveling. But the other instance where whoever was talking to her or whatever and taking care of her baby, they said that you have a guardian angel that's always with you, and usually only comes to you when you need something or when you ask. They'll let you know, like, you like, hey, I need to make a decision, can you help me? They'll then be like, okay, let me step in and help you, like that. I've heard about situations like that with guardian angels. So that's really cool that she had a guardian angel, and she time traveled a little bit, astral project, however you want to say it. She haunted herself. to help herself. That's dope. And I feel like we all need to do that sometimes, because we grow in our time period and we learn new things and how to cope with things and become a better version of ourselves. And all that stuff that we learned throughout life, we could have definitely used it back in the day during one of our time periods. I know there was a time, a lot of classes and stuff, like writing classes, and when we went to school, when I was in school, they used to be like, write a letter to yourself, or telling yourself, especially in therapy, like write a letter to yourself, your 5-year-old self, and tell them something, and wow, you need to know, tell them one thing or something like that. That is kind of, we should all do that. It might be a good skill, a good practice to do that. Like, hey, let me think back of what I needed back then and what I need now, and see how they can correlate to help me, help me heal. So yeah, friend, when she said about the ghosts, she felt the presence and she was not alarmed to get up, honey, that threw me off, because I'm just like, I would know who is trying, taking care of my child. I would like to know who is babysitting my child, who is taking care of my child. We gonna wake up. Like, I know I'm really tired, but I'm not that tired. We gonna see who is around my child, honey. But I understand, maybe. But yeah, that was really dope that the ghost was just like, hey, wake up, get the kid. Like, they're choking, they need you. Like, they was warning them, they was being very helpful. Like, that was dope. It could have been guardian angels, or it could have been ghosts. Like, either one, it was very useful. She really needed it. Subscribe.